I know at one point we were down to just one full-time member of staff. And then I think I think we might've had 2. And then we managed to get to 9 in like the course of a year. And that was literally, it was all from that one action, literally just making those calls.
On today's podcast, we have a guest.
I know, this is exciting. We've got Sam here.
I'm based in Sydney. I run Expression Doors, timber doors and hardware supply and install company. We basically work with probably 80% like residential volume builders, and then the other 20% is like private homeowner clients, and we just sell them all the materials to do the internal fit out section of the job. And yeah, I'm a carpenter by trade, but obviously now I'm sort of balancing a bunch of tasks. Sort of got myself into material sales, so that's where we're at now. So just building the company and growing it, I guess you could say slowly, but
I wouldn't say slowly. 100% growth over the past year. That's more than slow. If you like to think it's slow, that's a good thing. That means that it's feeling calm enough that it's not highly erratic. I do remember our first conversation with you. Business was quite chaotic for you. I think you were just expecting the birth of your first.
When I joined up, it was about a couple of days before my partner's due date. So we're juggling all that. And then if I look back on that, that would have been like March last year. It was one of the worst months that we've had. I don't know how accurate the books were, but like, yeah,
they're
definitely.
Accurate now?
They're accurate now, yeah, for sure. But I know that month for sure, that was a very rough month, and it took a while to bounce back from it. But obviously having the right guidance and doing the right stuff, we managed to turn it around pretty quickly, and we're on a upward trajectory now. So
seeing where you were last March and where you are now, I freaking love going through your books with you, because it's rewarding for me to see how your efforts are actually paying off for you.
Yeah, little bit more comfortable now. If you got no cash, that you're in survival mode. But once you turn it around a little bit and do the right things, obviously it doesn't happen straight away. You put the work in and do the things that you're meant to do. Eventually it starts to turn around, and yeah, it gives you the breathing space. Obviously the personal stuff, you want to have all of that sorted too. You want to be sleeping. That was obviously something that I guess it showed up in our books back then.
Yeah.
Obviously having all those pillars personally is one thing, but you just got to do the right things. And I remember like there's been a few like pretty pivotal calls with you as well, Mitch. It sounds so basic, but a lot of the time, like, you know exactly what you have to do. But there's a lot of times where you might be doing things that you know you need to do, but you don't end up doing them because like you just hesitate. It's not something that you feel comfortable doing. So
now, one of those things, and I would say one of your key points of success and what we kind of are talking about today, is you started to do a mass amount of lead gen. Yep, you started to reach out to potential clients. I'd like to talk in that space because it was something that was new for you, and you did feel a little bit uncomfortable doing it at first.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I think a lot of that comes from, you know, the unknown.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we want to talk about, is like reducing buyer's resistance, the resistance that people may have towards you because they don't know who you are. How did you go about that in different ways?
It's a pretty simple lead gen model for us. Like we've done Facebook advertising and stuff before. We're very private homeowner based before that. But once we got into the building material sales sort of industry, we basically defined our the market that we want, which is just residential builders. And it was a pretty simple process. Like you can sort of rinse and repeat over and over again. It's literally just calling, like find the right people to call, and then figure out how you're going to get them to change supplier. And, you know, for us, we supply and install, which gives us a bit of a unique selling point because for some reason in our market that no one does that.
Yep.
So for us, it all come down to basically, cold outreach.
Yep.
You know, they're the big words that you get peppered throughout the course of your coaching. Even now, obviously, like I have the opportunity to jump on the call on Tuesday night and help out the other students. And you can't stop harping on about it because you listen to some of the problems that some of these guys have, and a lot of it comes down to not being willing to do that work.
You're actually one of those people where I've noticed that you just adopted that mindset of like, I just have to do some phone calls. Like I'm a little bit light on work, I'm going to do some cold outreach. And you're really good at that, and just identifying like, okay, this is where we're booked out to, and this is what I have to do. I have a gap here. I'm going to hit the phones. And you're very much like, I don't know if you enjoy it, but you don't shy away from it. If I do enough of it, I'll always land someone.
To start off with, it definitely wasn't like that. Like I can still remember my first goes at it.
Do you remember your first cold call?
Yeah. I don't know if I remember the very first one, but I definitely remember like when I decided this is what I have to do. And like even still, like there's plenty of different ways to get the lead. You know, whether you go and scrape the data online or you look for it yourself. I've always had the best success. Like where I come from, like we've got new housing estates everywhere. So I've always found the most success actually being out on the ground, like driving around these estates and looking at who's building. And I can remember the first time I decided, because basically what we did, like when I decided I was going to get into the building material like side of things, we had to invest in a warehouse straight away. I managed to get like 1 or 2 clients and we got a couple of jobs to supply. But the place that we're at to start off with, we couldn't even hold a pack of timber in there. Like we barely get a forklift in there. It was like a little shed. So we managed to pick up, obviously start the accounts, which is one issue, and then get the clients. And then once we did that, like I had to go all in and get the warehouse. So once we got that, we had a massive overhead that like I didn't know how I was going to pay for it. And yeah, I just remember going out to the nearest estate, sitting out the front of this job site, and I saw the number and I knew that was the kind of client that we wanted to work with. And I sat there for about 10 minutes just like staring at the phone. Like I dialed the number and I was just sitting there looking at it like all these different, you know, like I don't know what was going through my head, but eventually I dialed it and it went well. Like I don't think we didn't get we obviously didn't get the contract straight away, but like the guy was willing to give us 5 minutes and he was interested in what we had to offer. And I guess that was lucky in a sense because I guess it makes it harder if you don't get a good reaction.
It's not lucky.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying is when we talk about getting people to like reduce resistance towards people and accept like who they're talking with, the way in which you communicate is efficient.
Yeah.
You're friendly. You're a good person. You're a good communicator.
Yeah.
And like these are all traits that become really important when we're starting to do our lead generation because we're trying to get someone to lower their guard towards what we're trying to sell them.
Yeah.
Yep. If you just go in hot and heavy and you're like, yeah, man, I sell doors and you should just buy them.
Yeah.
Like that's not going to work. Yeah. And it's your ability to just have a conversation with someone. You have a professional looking outfit in the way in which your business is structured, your website. As you said, yeah, you had to go and get that warehouse.
Yeah.
Because that puts you in another level. People now trust you more.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, we have a warehouse. What? You're at a different level.
Yeah.
And I think this is where a lot of people go wrong when they try and win work. They're not willing to do the little or the big things that make people feel comfortable working with them.
I mean, I guess I can say now, I mean, I would say I love it. Like I don't like doing it, but like
you love the thrill.
I think it's that it's like that rush. Like especially, I feel like people just have to see it out until they get a result, and then once you get a result, like you know, that's because that's literally like without doing that. I think when we first started here, I think we had like maybe one. I know at one point we were down to one. Like just one full-time member of staff, and then I think I think we might have had 2, and then we managed to get to 9 in like the course of a year, and that was literally it was all from that one action, literally just making those calls, and obviously
you've also but built the systems behind the scene in that. So now, even though there's a huge amount of additional work, it feels like a highly polished, well-oiled machine that's helping people to achieve those results.
Yeah, I guess when you're in it, it doesn't feel that way. But I guess as time goes on,
your spreadsheets are legendary, just so you know. They are.
Well, I don't know. Arena would say the numbers don't add up just yet in the latest one.
In the latest one, but we're working on that.
Yeah, we're looking at the idea.
It's a good skeleton. I already like it.
It's just the numbers don't work out yet. But yeah, I guess it's stuff like that. I guess you work like I'd always try and look at like I guess if we're doing something very repetitively, or if there's something that you can sort of see that you don't need to do it like that every time. Like I guess you just as you go. Like for me, a big thing for us was utilizing the job management, like building out templates and stuff like that in the job management system. You do it as you go, but then the more tasks you can automate or stop doing through refining that, I guess it does. Like it happens over time. Like you can't just sit there for like a whole day and like, I'm doing systems today. Like you sort of just, that's the way I've done it anyway. One of the biggest things we sort of push for potential clients is sort of now we've sort of set up a bit of a showroom. You can show it to the builder, and a lot of the time they don't have showrooms, and you can just say to them like, look, you send your client here. And that's another thing, like a lot of them, obviously they've got their clients, and then custom builders, they have to figure out what they want. And a lot of the time it's a lot of back and forward, but just stuff like that, like you sort of realize over time that you get to know your market better. You don't exactly know what it is that you want, like that the client wants, and then over time you sort of work out, and obviously that plays into your cold outreach too, you know, because as you start working for more clients, and I guess doing the work on the back end too to figure out like what does the client look like. I think that was what helped us a lot, having a good idea of exactly what that client looked like.
Establishing your client avatar.
Yeah.
Who am I going after?
Yeah.
What's important to them?
Yeah. And then obviously the more that you reach out to them and the more that you work with them, you figure out like these things are annoying to them, and then you can sort of leverage off that and be like, you know, we do this for this builder. Like for us, one big thing is like, we'll take client selection appointments with the builder's clients, and we'll do a lot of the back and forward for the material selections of our stage of the build. So like we can get them into the showroom, like I'll chat with them back and forward. We make the builders that we work with long term, like we make them their own branded like PDFs. So it's just a template of our one it's like our own catalog, but then like we'll jump on Canva and like pull all the logos out, put their logo on it, change the colorways. It doesn't take me long to do it, but then like you give that to them, and then no one's doing that, you know.
Yeah,
like,
you feel more professional.
I always say to like even the guys that I chat to about this stuff, like in trades the bar is like so low. Like there's not that many people, even like you look at like digital marketing agencies or something, like I'll get a call from one of those every day. And they're all competing, doing the same thing. Whereas like trade businesses, like obviously in our community, it's like pretty normal. Everyone's doing it, but I got heaps of friends that are in trades. It's like no one's doing it, you know. So all you have to do is like do it a little bit, and then you're going to get a result.
Yeah.
So, yeah, do it.
Yeah.